Hey folks, today I have the pleasure to host for the very first time Gordon Wong. He's like, wait, I'll let him introduce himself. That's going to be much easier.
Awesome. Hey, Yusuf, thanks for having me. My name's Gordon. I'm a product manager here at Databricks. I work on our admin experience, which I'm really excited about. And today we're really excited to announce the public preview for custom URLs, which has been, doing super well in private preview and gated public preview. Excited to talk more about that today.
I think it's going to be very helpful. I remember back in 2021, I used to work and we had many workspaces. And trust me, it was a little bit hard to understand which workspace I am using because they have this DBC underscore 123. And I think this feature is going to be very important for the customers.
Yes, sounds good. Really excited to be here. I have a slide deck presentation. So today we're talking about custom URLs, and what this is one branded URL and login across every workspace in your Databricks account. So as Yusuf mentioned, previously we had these very obscure and hard to read URLs for every single workspace. And that login session was actually specific just for that workspace. We now solve this with one branded kind of entry point for all of Databricks. And then now we're in public preview, which we're really excited about. So what's a custom URL? This is one branded domain. So, for example, mycompany.databricks.com, for example, that replaces every per-workspace URL across your entire account. So previously, every workspace had some obscure URL, DBC dash, a bunch of random characters that are really hard to read. This made navigating Databricks really challenging, right? Especially if you have multiple workspaces, dev, staging, and prod, or different workspaces for different use cases. The navigation friction in the experience was really fragmented in the sense that every time you switch to workspace, you would actually have to log in again, right? Or if you need to navigate to a specific workspace, we saw a lot of customers actually manually bookmarking in Chrome the different workspaces that they have to directly navigate to, right? So how do we actually simplify this for our customers, and how do we make this more of a unified experience? That's something that we've kind of accomplished with custom URLs. So as I mentioned, today we're in public preview, which is really exciting. And what that means is that you can actually go and claim your own custom URL for your Databricks account. As I mentioned a little bit, there's almost two class of problems we're solving with custom URLs. The first is just really hard to share and work within Databricks with these really unmemorable workspace URLs or super ugly. There's almost a user experience tax of re-logging in every time when you're switching workspaces. And then the second is scaling issues, right? As you have more workspaces on Databricks, your bookmarks start to stack up. We've seen customers get really creative of having Excel sheets or Google Sheets to even track the different workspaces they have access to. And then this is obviously very difficult to brand, right? If you think about Genie 1 and the progress we're making with business users, it's really hard to actually brand your Databricks environment in a very easy way to share your assets through Genie 1. So what we're talking today about is custom URLs, and I'll kind of walk through some of the key benefits, and then we can get into a demo a little bit later. So one of the obvious benefits is easier navigation. So what this means is that you have one unified session that follows you as a user as you navigate the account. So what this means is that you can navigate to yusuf.databricks.com if that's your account, your custom URL, and then that session actually persists across your entire experience on Databricks, right? You don't have to re-authenticate or log in again as you're navigating through workspaces or different assets. The second is a much better Genie 1 experience. So Genie 1, again, is our business user-facing interface where you can get access to dashboards, Genie spaces, and apps from one single place. This makes it a lot seamless for your business users to access Databricks, right? Instead of going to arbitrary, awkward URLs, you can actually just give them one single URL to share, and then that is that one entry point, right? In addition, this is probably one of my favorite benefits, which is that Unity Catalog Lineage now actually reflects the different object dependencies across workspaces, which is really cool. So when you're in the Unity Catalog view within your workspace, and you're looking at a certain table, you can actually see the downstream dependencies of that table across different jobs and different dashboards, right? So that actually now seamlessly tracks across all the workspaces in your account. You can have that unified view, that governance view that, and provides a lot of clarity and oversight across all your assets. This was actually one of the more long-standing requests from customers, especially on the UC side. So we're really excited about that. The next one is a simpler disaster recovery. This is something that we'll share a bit more in the next coming months. But essentially, custom URLs makes disaster recovery actually much simpler on Databricks. And what this means is that there's like a single account level entry point, and that ensures the failovers actually doesn't break any connections. So we actually are able to route users to the correct workspace, actually regardless of region, right? With the single URL. And then, as I mentioned before, this is a really branded experience. This gives you somewhat of like a home on Databricks, right? You can now navigate to one single URL and access all of your Databricks versus having these obscure and different URLs for everything that you're doing day to day. I'll do a short demo.
Think that's my favorite part. And Gordon, I have a question. You talked about bringing a whole new experience. And I think for some, they might think those are tiny, tiny details, but trust me, it's like the cherry on the top of the pie. Once you have it, you're gonna love it because those tiny details makes really the difference.
Yes.
And regarding the personalization of the workspace, can you give us more insights in case we have many environments? How we're going to transition, for example, between dev workspace to production or staging?
Yeah, I think so. Transitioning between workspaces, it does not require re-authentication, but I think your question is more of making sure you're in the right workspace between dev, staging, and prod. The URL today in the parameter is actually the workspace ID, so it doesn't reflect the workspace name yet. It's something that we're thinking through internally of how to better support this. I know a lot of customers have asked for this. In the meantime, we do have something called workspace labels. So you can actually apply like a custom colored label to every one of your workspaces. And we see that as like a way to visually distinguish between the different workspaces you have. For example, you can create like a red label for prod and then a yellow label for different staging workspaces that you have. But we hope to plan to actually introduce this directly in the URL parameter as well. So that's a lot seamless for customers. But yeah, more to come on that.
Amazing, thank you.
Awesome. So I'll share my screen and we can get started. So I'm using a staging account to do this demo, and I'll actually share my entire window so you can actually see the URL as well, right? So I'll do dog food .staging.databricks.com. And then here I've actually, I can now access, I'm the account admin, so I can access my entire Databricks account here, right? And then on the right side, I can actually select which workspace I want to navigate to. I can select a workspace to navigate to. So let's go to E2 dog food. And here I'm in E2 dog food, right? And this is one of our like main workspaces for a dog food staging, which is internal to Databricks. But let's say I want to actually switch to this workspace, right? As you can see, like as I actually switched between the workspaces, I don't actually have to re-authenticate, right? So that keeps my session persisted across Databricks, and I'm able to actually switch really seamlessly, right? The same kind of applies for Genie 1. So when here in Genie 1, and I want to do any asset discovery, right? Any of these suggested assets that I'm clicking through also kind of works seamlessly across, my persisted session on my custom URL. So I don't actually have to re-authenticate every time I'm clicking through these assets. I'll go
That's
back. I'll go back to E2 dog food, my workspace. And what I want to share here is the UC Lineage, which was really a great unlock for customers. So here we have a test table set up. And when I click Lineage now here, I can now see as a column, like the actual workspace name in which this table has any downstream or upstream dependencies, right? So these are also like workspaces. I can zoom in here. These are workspaces that are across my account. So here, this RFA test Rohun, which is one of the workspaces that we were just in. You can see that some of these are actually downstream to this table in E2 dog food, right? So the key message here is that now within Uni Catalog, you can actually see all the downstream and upstream assets across your Databricks account. You can actually see in place which workspaces actually came from, right? So that gives you like one really clear bird's eye view of lineage and governance across your entire Databricks environment.
This is amazing.
Maybe some helpful tips on how to get started. So, as I mentioned, custom URLs is now in public preview. There's a couple like really easy steps on how do you get started here. The first step is claiming your URL, and you can do that as the account admin for your account. So as the account admin, go in and verify and claim your subdomain. As part of this process, you must actually validate your domain ownership via email OTP. And then once you do so, you can actually toggle on your custom URL, which I can show really quickly as well. And then step 2 is actually enable auto redirect. And what this means is that you can actually automatically route your legacy traffic from your old Per-Workspace URLs, like the DBC ones that we talked to through briefly just now. And you can route that actually all to your new branded custom URL domain. And then step 3 is like now you can access your custom URL. And for example, for Genie 1, it's just mycompany.databricks.com/1. And that's your account-wide home for all like Genie apps and dashboards and things like that. So maybe I can show you really quickly what this looks like from the account admin view. So here I'm in the account console. And if I click settings, in account settings, this is where you'll actually find all the configuration for custom URLs. We actually plan to support some other exciting things coming soon. But here it's a simple toggle on. So you'll see your custom URL. When you toggle this on, you'll be prompted to do an email OTP. And once you finish that up, it would now allow you to toggle it on. And then here is the auto redirect. So you can actually auto redirect what we call like all previous workspace URLs to this new custom URL that you have. And then just really quickly calling out like partner ecosystem tools are fully supported as part of this public preview. Most partner ecosystem tools are fully supported on this public preview. There are a few ones that are kind of coming as fast follows. And then all of our developer ecosystem tooling is fully supported, right, with the latest versioning, which we're really excited about. And then for customers that use our front-end private link, so private networking for certain workspaces, we are supporting that very soon as well. So you'll be able to use your custom URL and actually use that in context of workspaces that require or use front-end private link, which is going to be great. And that will kind of make sure that almost every customer at Databricks can now get their hands on a custom URL. So I'll stop sharing, but yeah, that's all I had. Hope this was interesting, and yeah, we're really excited to see customers adopt this and just have a more unified and simpler experience on Databricks, right? I think as we build new products and new features, it's really important to have a simple experience, and then I think custom Rails is like one step towards that.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I was about to say. And make sure if you're to talk with your account admins and ask them to claim as soon as possible their domain and make your workspace much easier to navigate.
Bye.
In Lake Rise data seas, lake flow, streams the flow. Iceberg and Delta Lake, tables aglow. Unity catalog governs lake base, OLT base strong. Genie text to SQL, mosaic and KI prolongs.